Welcome to Lecture 6, and this week we're talking about work and career. And we can see a lady here in this photo. She's in the foreground. She is holding on to a file and some papers, and she looks quite confident. She's well dressed, professionally dressed, and she's in a professional work environment. In the background we can see three people. They're also professionally dressed and clearly in a work environment. They're looking over a folder of information. So let's talk a little bit about week 6, and this week we have the week 6 quiz. This is a grammar and vocabulary quiz, and as you know, you can take this quiz as many times as you want. Also this week I'd encourage you to watch the vocabulary videos. They can help you with listening and also help you understand the vocabulary that you need for this week. A lot of our vocabulary is really great vocabulary around work and career. It's good to listen and try and hear the stress. Try and hear where the words are stressed or the sentence is stressed to give you that better understanding and awareness of the pronunciation of English. The grammar that we're looking at this week, future forms. As we can see in these two example sentences, we have a couple of different uses for the future. Are you going to be ready for work in the future? So this is a question, and when we form the future we're using going to. And as we can see in this rule below it, we use going to when we talk about our current plans for the future. So if we're planning, if we know what we're going to do in the future, we use going to. Talking about the weekend, I'm going to do some homework on the weekend, so going to the weekend because I already have that plan to do my homework. In the second example, we have a different use of the future. Most professional workers will need to have some level of information technology skills. Here we're using will because we're talking about predictions. We're talking about what we think will be true in the future. And when we're making a prediction, maybe for next year or for the next 10 years, we do use will. So I can say, I think next summer will be very hot. It's my prediction. I don't know it for sure at the moment, but I think that's what's true, so I use will. Let's now talk about the four pictures as we normally do. And in picture A, we've talked a little bit about this picture, that we have this lady in a professional work environment, working there with colleagues. It looks like they're in a hallway. It looks like they're in a professional environment. It doesn't look like an open plan office, but it looks like some sort of area, entrance hall or lobby area in a major company. In picture B, we have a construction worker, and he is folding his arms. He's got a helmet on, and he's got tools as well. And in the background, we can see there are two cranes. Cranes are often used in construction work. In picture C, I can see a health setting. It looks like it's a hospital or a clinic of some sort. There's a man, and he's sitting in the background, sort of facing away from the camera. And in the foreground, it looks like there's a nurse or a carer, a professional person who is holding some medical equipment. It looks like a clean medical environment, and it's something that you would see if you're working in the health industry. In picture D, we can see a setting which might be from hospitality. We have a man and a lady. Again, they're very well dressed, very well presented, and it's a nice clean environment. Looks like it could be a hotel room or a professional conference room, and the lady is holding some flowers, and they look like they're ready to work in that professional environment. Question 2. Which of these pictures is closest to the type of work you are interested in? Explain why. Well, personally, I'm quite interested in picture A. I like that professional work environment. For example, if I go to work, I like to work with other professionals. I like to work in a clean environment, a nice environment, where people are well presented, and it's a good place where you can communicate with others professionally, and you can get a lot of benefit out of working in a place like this as well. Maybe you're well rewarded financially, but also in terms of your career, when you have these types of skills, there are many different options available for you. Question 3. Do you know anyone who does the jobs shown in the pictures? do they like their jobs? Well, yes, I know people who work in all four of these types of jobs. Most people are happy with what they do. There's a lot of opportunities. The world is rapidly growing, and there's a lot of professional opportunities. So I'd say the people that I know, yes, they do like their work. They have different types of pressures and different types of issues that the people have to deal with. However, if you're well trained and if you are professional in the way that you work, most people are able to have a professional and successful career these days. Let's turn now to the essay for this week, and this is an advantage and disadvantage essay, and these are often used in academic settings. So the question is, these days many people are choosing to move to other countries for new work opportunities. In your opinion, what are the advantages and disadvantages of moving to a new country to work? So this is a common situation, as we know. The people are travelling overseas looking for a new job, but there are advantages and disadvantages. So when we brainstorm, we can have two different sides to this argument, the advantages, and as we got in this little mind map, we would say the advantages are higher income. So often people who travel overseas can earn more money than they can when they're in their home country. Furthermore, they can improve their job skills. So that's another part of our mind map here, that we've got this section for improving job skills, which means that you might be able to some good training, you might understand how to use computers a little bit better, you might be able to work on your professional communication skills, the way you write emails, the way you talk on the telephone. All of these skills will be able to improve when you're in another country, and then you can bring those skills back to your own country. Also, if you're looking at the whole world for job choices, you would find there are more job choices. You can work in many, many different countries, which opens up all sorts of opportunities for you. You wouldn't just limit yourself to one country, which is where you're studying at the moment, but there's a whole world open. And in this modern era of globalization, that's the sort of environment we work in, where there are choices all around the world. However, there are disadvantages, and first disadvantage is that the family could be sad. So your parents or your brothers and sisters or uncles and aunties, cousins, all of these people might miss you when you're away. In fact, they probably will if you're away for many years, and they can think that, well, it's a bit disappointing that this person has left our community. That I'm sure they would be happy for you that you're traveling overseas and working overseas. And in some cases, if you have a higher income, you might be able to support some of your family members, and I'm sure this would help their sadness. Another disadvantage is being homesick. If you're away from home, obviously you miss your food, you miss your culture, you miss the events which are important for your community, maybe some religious events you would miss. This means that you would have a certain homesickness, that you wouldn't feel as comfortable as you do in your own country. Finally, I would say that there is that chance that you would lose a connection with home. While other people in your home country are connecting, maybe they're getting married, maybe they're having children, or having a deeper relationship at work, that's an opportunity that they're having. However, if you're away from that, then you will maybe lose your connection with home. You might not have the same social group. You might start drifting apart from your home community, and so that would probably be seen as a disadvantage. In the long term, you might be able to reconnect again with your home community, and that would be wonderful. But if you don't travel back to your community often, then you probably lose that connection over time.